Good day, everybody. How y'all doing today? This is Nathaniel Evans, co-host for IAmTheData podcast, focus on leadership, spiritual development, actually being the best person we can, and finding ways to navigate through all the different systems that life actually throws at us. So with that, I will introduce to you Jeannie Muhammad, my lovely co-host, and she would explain the way.
Thank you, Nathaniel. I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. I focus on women that have challenges in their lives or have had great challenges in their lives that gave them trauma, and they're having problems overcoming those challenges. So I am focused on helping them to find ways to bring joy, peace, and happiness into their lives. So I am grateful to be here with you today, and I will go deeper into our subject and deeper into this subject of gratitude after I check with my co-host and my
Mm-hmm.
wonderful partner, Nathaniel, to see if there is anything that he would like to uh, add before I go into more depth about our topic for today.
Yeah, I'm just really interested in this topic, where it's actually going to take us. As always, never know really the path that we're going to go on these topics. So I'm just interested in seeing where this topic is going to go. And, if people want to chime in or not, if, it strikes the chord with anybody, if people can identify with it. So our topic today is Window to the Soul. And floor is all yours, Gina.
Okay, thank you, Nathaniel. I start out my day with gratitude. I am grateful today as I strive to remember always to say that I'm grateful to Nathaniel for this platform. I am the data. And I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, I am the data, and subscribe. It will help us to connect with more people and help us to spread the message that we are striving to convey. And as always, I am grateful to you, our listening audience, for being here with us on a continuous basis. And so today I talk about gratitude in a very personal way because I have been truly reflecting on all the things that I have to be grateful for. I am celebrating today. Each day is a celebration of life for me. And once I go through exactly, I have a slideshow to present. And once I go through this slideshow explaining the different aspects of the life that I have been blessed to live, I think that you will understand uh, better why I am so grateful and why I talk about gratitude all the time. It's a subject that I never want to erase from my vocabulary because it is so vitally important to the joy, peace, and happiness that we live in our lives. And so, for our audience that may be visual, I will do my best to explain what is in the slides so that uh, uh, it will come alive for you. And you can also, after listening to the podcast, if you want more of a visual, you can go to our YouTube channel and be able to see the visual of the slide that I am going to present to you. So with that, and Nathaniel, you um, tell me We're okay. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, great. This is a slide showing my company, which is Freedom to Live. And there's a whole story in my logo that one day, I will even maybe write a blog about my logo and why it is has such great meaning to me. My company, as I said, is Freedom to Live. And so this is I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. I empower women with challenges in their lives and have lost themselves in those challenges. And I strive to bring them into the knowledge that there is healing from within because we have that power. And so that is my mission in life. That is what I bring. And Nathaniel, anytime that you would like to break in with a question, or if you have anything to say, please, don't feel free to jump right in. Okay.
Okay.
I am so grateful because I have not always been a happiness expert. I have not always been happy, quote unquote. So, this, what I am presenting to you, is the window to my soul. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and I am presenting to you my world through my eyes. So, this is the window to my soul, my beginning, where I started out in life. I was born in 1948, 75 years ago. And it was in a shack in Louisiana, MacDade, Louisiana, which is just a sign on the side of the road, US Highway 71, going through Louisiana, going towards New Orleans. And I was born in a little shack, a little two-room shack that did not have running water, that did not have electricity, that did not have any of them. In fact, the floor was a dirt floor. Now, remember, this is in 1948. So it was in the middle of a cotton field. And I have an image on the screen for those that cannot actually see it, of a replica of what that little shack was. Of course, it is no longer there, but this is a picture of what that little shack looked like. The only thing is, it was not raised; it was on the ground. And the floor was a ground. It was in the middle of a cotton field. That little girl in the picture is not me, but it could have been me. It 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 very well could have been, because my father was a sharecropper on this plantation. And the earliest memory I have in that little shack is my father beating my mother. My earliest memories are screams from my mother, because my father was beating her. Now, because of the uh, abuse that I saw on a daily basis, I grew up not having a very good concept of who I am. And so I had a very, very negative picture of myself. I was bullied as a child. I was very sickly as a child. I could not participate in a lot of the activities that other children participated in. I saw abuse on a daily basis. I was told continuously that I was ugly, that I was no good. I was All of this was drummed into me, and I felt hopeless. I didn't feel. I had a very negative opinion of me. And because of this, I went into abusive relationships. After I left home at 16, I went to California, and I graduated from high school, I attended college, and I went into the corporate world. But I was living a double life because I was being abused on a regular basis. Every relationship that I went into, I found that I was being abused. One relationship, I was beat so bad that my life was in danger. I had guns pulled on me, and but it was one relationship like this after another. And I'm going to go back. See, because of these relationships like this, I ended up homeless. I ended up on drugs. I abused alcohol. I really was at a very low point. And then I started searching and trying to figure out why it was that I was constantly encountering these people in my life that did not see my worth and was constantly abusing me. And I would started searching and searching for that answer. And through my journey of searching, I realized that the one thing these people had in common was me. So I started looking at me. I started doing that self-examination. I started doing what I needed to find out the answers. And I found that I did not love myself. I did not see my value. I did not understand how worthy I am. Understand, this is the window to my soul. I'm sharing this because I know that there are people that are going through the same things that I went through, and they are still searching to understand what they can do to heal. So, healing is possible. We have that power, we have that within. We have that. We with love. Once we start to love ourselves and once we start to understand how valuable we are, we can find that hope and have faith that there is a solution for us in us. The healing comes from within. And so now I promote self-care. It's because self-care, a lot of times, and I had a conversation with someone just Friday where they were saying that self-care sounds so selfish, that it sounds like it's all about me, 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 me. But it's not that attitude. Self-care is necessary if we are going to equip ourselves to be able to aid others. To say I love you, but I'm not doing what I need to do to show the love I have for myself, which means eating right, exercise, proper rest, all the things that I should do to promote uh, optimum health for myself. So what I offer through my coaching is hope, um, how to raise self-esteem, how to become fearless, how to be truly happy in who we are and understand what happiness is. And that means having good relationships. And so that's why I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. And I thank you for being here with us today on I Am the Data and looking at my life, the window to my soul through my eyes. So thank you. Thank you, Nathaniel, for
Yeah,
giving me that opportunity to express that and to be.
yeah.
So it's back in your hands.
Oh yeah, powerful presentation. I think it's a really touchy topic. You know, dealing with relationship values and different morals, and even like from a cultural sense, like what I mean. Like it's so touch and go because there's so many different variations of the same topic, or different type of logics that comes from culture to culture, from nation to nation, about this particular topic itself, dealing with domestic violence in the household, whether it be from men or whether it may be from women. These dynamics do exist. And we're in a time now where, we love to hold on to the things that we have. The things that we have, they are important to us, and the more we hold on to them, the greater sense of purpose that we have with the identity of those things. And it also correlates to our relationships in the world, our relationships with ourselves, as you were speaking about, our personal relationships, but also identifying relationships that we have personally identified ourselves with that's now into the world, right? And we pick and choose our levels of identity, our levels of values, our levels of trust, and even love from one variant to another. And I was listening to something earlier, and he was speaking about the power of fasting, right? And it was something that he said that was really interesting because we have all these gurus that's out here and that speaks about fasting and what fasting can do for you and and things of that nature. But he was saying that he remember fasting one time, and it was it's from Instagram. The guy's called Sleep is for Suckers. That's the title of of it on Instagram. The guy, I forgot his name, but if you look for Sleep is for Suckers on Instagram, you'll find him. But he was saying that he remember fasting for a certain period of time, and he said he didn't get nothing out of the fast. And he said he didn't get nothing out of the fast because he was so disgruntled throughout the whole process. Like he was like, I'm hungry, you know, I'm waiting for this fast to end. I should have never said I was gonna do it, things of that nature. And he said because of his, approach to his fasting, even though he fasts, it didn't have the same mystical meaning that is relayed to us, from our ancestors, from literature or from different leaders and stuff like that, that they actually characterize that actually use this type of methodology to empower themselves and make a difference in a land like Muhammad and Christ and all these different people. And it made it seem like it's like this one size fit all pill for everybody. But he was saying that it depends on who you are as an individual and your main course for that fast, that main course to, try to go within and bring out a higher purpose for yourself. And it's made to seem so simple, like it's just the most naturalist thing in the world, but it's really not. It's really complex, and it's also, for some people, it can be very detrimental, right? There was a guy that was saying he wanted to fast like Christ for 30 days and 30 nights. His pastor, I think he made it to like 28 or 29, and then he passed away, right? So it's like this competitive nature of the fasting that really, I believe, has become detrimental to man itself. Because once man becomes, and when I say man, I mean man and woman, once either party becomes more powerful than their counterparts, then they actually show and they actually exert that power, right? And I think that's one of the things of actually tapping in is to be assured of actually why you're tapping in. You don't want to tap in for revenge, you know. You don't want to tap in because I'm going to show them this or I'm going to show them that, because any fuel that you add to any fire eventually burns out. So if the fuel that you add is an external fuel, an external force, you know what I'm saying, component, when that external component burns out, you also burn out with your
Right.
vision of who you are and what direction that you're actually going in. So
Yes.
it's, we all striving to become these mystical, iconic figures in the world, right? We want to have powerful relationships with God. We want to be known by God. You know, we want to be cherished by the Most High. But we also want to be known by man and cherished by man and honored and graced by man as well. And it's like, you know, I need to have my cake and eat it too. And one of the things about, you know, when you're tapping into the window of who you are, right? You're tapping into the window of who you are. You need to allow that to resonate for a minute, right? Don't think that is a simple thing, what you're saying, that you're going to tap into who you are. So one day you're just sitting here. Let's, you know, we're going to do our little story. So one day you're just sitting here and everything is just so natural. You do the things that you always naturally do, right? You bathe at the same time, you eat the same breakfast, same lunch, you know, you go do your daily jogging, all the things, all the different remedies that you have found that cultivates you to inspire you to believe and to know that you have a great life and you have actually increased that life, right? And one day you're just totally content, right, with this life you created. And then something happens and says, this life that you have created is a mirage. It's all a lie. You can just take it and just throw it out the window and then go find another purpose. It doesn't sound that simple. It doesn't sound that easy to do. So it basically shows you that once you go on that journey, all those different things that you deem to be dear to you, all those things that hold a high regard, no longer have any purpose. And when that happens, it's such a painful experience for a lot of people, especially people that are what I would say introverts, that is hard to create relationships with. It's hard for them to create relationships with other people. And when they go deeper in, they wind up severing those different type of relationships, but they're not doing it in a meaningful way. It's basically like that metaphysical push that pushes you into a space a lot of times where you don't know what's going on. I remember a friend of mine that I grew up with named Great. Me and Great was really cool, but Great, he was going through a change. And one day I ran into him and he had a big bottle, you know, of liquor, like a pint of liquor, white liquor. And he saw me, he said, yo, man, you know, I'm going through it, man. You know, I'm trying, you know, and, you know, I'm just going to drink so I can try to figure some stuff out, you know, forget a couple of things. And I was like, you know, just be careful, man. You know, you don't want to drink all that, you know. And he was like, nah, because I was asking you to come drink with me. And I was like, nah, I don't drink like that, man. I said, first, I don't see no cups. You know, I don't see no cups, no ice. I don't see no chaser. He said, nah, we're going to drink straight out the bottle, man. We're like, we're not even going to deal with that ritualistic stuff. You know, we're just going to drink straight out the bottle. And I was like, no, I can't do it. You know, but he was totally disappointed that I couldn't do it with him because he didn't want to be alone in his transition and what he was going through. And because I had similarities of a path that he was on, I just didn't get to his state where he was at. So I could not even relate and correlate with that. And I just say that because even though we were on the same path as Israelites and we both came into that understanding, you know, and he tapped me. I didn't tap him. He tapped me to bring me into an awareness. And then he was in danger. He was going through a transitional danger for himself. And he was looking for me, the person he tapped, to basically, you know, accompany him with him on this path and take this journey with him, you know. And I wasn't strong enough to do it. I didn't even see the purpose of actually doing it, you know, until many years later. That was the time that he came to me, you know what I mean, because his soul was so open, right? And he made himself so vulnerable, and it was so clear, like what he needed from me, what he wanted from me. Like it was no misunderstanding. And even though he was wide open, I still didn't take that, and still didn't value, that gift, because it's really hard for people to open themselves up to you in that way to really help them. And I think that's one of the scars too of the world, is when you open up like that and you're not seen, right? It becomes very detrimental to the individual.
Yes.
And it actually, takes on a life of itself, to the point where now the things that I hold dear to me, the things that I'm going through or challenges I'm experiencing, I actually have to keep it to myself. And this is one of the paths that takes place when we're going through these transitions. That
Right.
these transitions are most of the time just they basically for the individual. This is a
Right.
self-fulfilled journey.
Right.
You're not gonna have a whole bunch of people, rooting you on, you know, let's go, let's get it. Knocking on your door, calling your phone, and making you accountable for what your journey consists of, because
Right.
they can't. They don't know your journey, right?
Right.
So it's knowing that, yeah, let me allow me to tap in, but as you're tapping in, pay attention to what's around you, what's actually shifting, around the room. It's like moving furniture moving by itself type of experience. Like, you just go in the room and you see a whole bunch of furniture just shifting itself around and putting itself in different places, because it's like that's how your life is compartmentalized. That's basically like a vision of how your life is actually going to change, where everything that you put in place before you start this journey is actually going to get uprooted and shift around, right? And some
Right.
of the things that you had, you're going to be able to find them again. But when you find them again, they're not going to have that same meaning and that same umph that they had, before your transition.
Right.
And some of the things you're going to lose, but you're not going to realize you lost them until later on, because they really didn't have a purpose in the first place.
Right.
So,
And all that you were saying when you started out and you were talking, the word that came to my mind as far as, the being able to coach people and being able to be in a position to be able to aid others on their journey is not to be judgmental about where anyone is, including sometimes we're very judgmental about ourselves, and we have a problem forgiving ourselves from wherever station in life we may have come and the things that we have done, because it's all a process. I presented that little short uh, presentation, maybe 10 minutes, but it was a span of 75 years,
mm-hmm,
you know,
yeah,
of me coming to the point where I am today and understanding that all of life is a process. I'm still in that process. As long as I am living, as long as I have breath in my body and I'm on this plane of life, I will, I am constantly evolving. It's a process. And so to not be judgmental, I think that that is one of the things that reasons that people find it so hard to open up and allow others to see into the window to their soul, allow them,
yeah.
is because most people are very judgmental. You know, we start to uh, place values on different aspect of another person's life when we don't know why that person is being allowed to go through whatever they're going through.
And at the end of the day, we're not supposed to know, right?
Right,
This is the whole point of our individual and our unique journeys. And because the reason why I say we're not supposed to know, because we have not made it our business in a society to know one another, right? We have not done it, right? You have parents, you don't know your parents. You have lovers, you don't know your lovers. You have friends, you don't even know who your friends are, right? So because we have not created what you would call the Tower of Babel concept, right, of coming together in a form of unification and learning how to feed the world together, how to use economics, what I'm saying, fluently from one space to another, how to share easily the resources such as gas or, petroleum, right, that can actually fill the world, you know, in a way, if it's given freely like the sun, it can fuel the world in a way that we can't even imagine, right? But these are not things that we actually strive for. So when we go into this space of judgmental, that basically is the variant of actually being a judge, right? And because that word judgmental comes from judge, all of us, you know what I'm saying, are basically held accountable for that word, right? Because we all are judges. Whether we want to believe we are judges or not, is a whole nother story, right? But we judge every single thing that we do on the land, right? There's not one thing that we do on the land that we don't judge. But they make the word judge as it's a negative, but it's not a negative. It is a positive. The Most High says a king cannot go to war without counsel, right? Counsel is judgment on a particular reason. We don't know all the answers, so we make the best judgment we can towards a particular situation. Sometimes we may have seconds to make that decision, and sometimes we may have months, sometimes we may even have years to make that right decision, that right judgment that we need. When we going through scriptures, even when we going through the Quran speaks about judgment, but it speaks about judgment with a high dosage of love attached to it. And I think that's one of the elements that's actually missing when you be coming into the spaces of judgment, that is absence the element of love. Is in the
Oh, that
Bible, is in
is
the
so correct.
Quran,
And that's
is
exactly what
is
I
in
was saying.
every is in every
Right.
spiritual context that deviates from the world, the Indian texts and all these different texts that's in the world, right? It all speaks of the same thing. And the reason why it all speaks of the same thing, because we are all of the same thing. We are all life, right? So it's
Yes.
one thing that you can't hide from in life is life. You
Right.
just can't hide
Well,
from it.
and the thing about being the judges of others, or being judgmental, and knowing that there is a negative and a positive in every word, really. There, it depends on the how it is used and why it is used. Because if, as you said, that we're judging on our intention, about it, everything is based, to me, I believe, on your intention. When you judge, what is your intention? Is it based on wanting to elevate, or is it, which is that love vibration, or is your intention to bring someone down? That's on
Mm-hmm.
that negative. But so to and unfortunately, most of the judging that is done in today's world is based on that low vibrational level, and the intention is not on love, is
Ah,
not based in love.
so now we find a culprit within our society that actually becomes the muddy waters that we got to find our ways through. You know what I'm saying, to find a clearer purpose, right? Because we
Right.
know that we are judges. We know that we are judges. We know that laws exist, right? Whether we want to abide by them or not, we know they exist. Before we even break a law, we know the law exists. Before we trick our friends, before we take something, our first penny, or rob our first thing out of store, We knew all these things already because they resonate within us. It's something that tells us certain things all the time, right? Our life story is a part of our life story. It's all interconnected. There is no separation. So when we're looking at judgment, we're looking at what type of judgment we're looking at. We're looking at judgments from Daniel. We're looking at judgments from different prophets, you know what I mean, that roam the earth, different leaders, different kings, right? What is the purpose of these things? And the purpose of these things is for us to continue to evolve, right? And find a higher meaning. So today somebody texted me and was like, somebody else just died, the other day in Rikers Island. It's the first victim in 2023 that died in Rikers Island. Guy was named Mr. Pine. Prayers go out to Mr. Pine and his family, and he lost his life in Rikers Island. And I constantly say certain things, even when I be on these platforms, as far as people losing their lives in these systems. The only place that somebody lose their life at, especially going into prison, if they was actually on death row and a number came up and they had to go, and get their lethal injection. But if they're not in places where the death penalty is not initiated, no man should actually lose his life in there unless, it's maybe a natural cause or, sometimes you get into conflicts. But for officers to be involved with individuals losing their lives, that's a different story.
Right.
And this is where everything changes, because we have men and women that operate those systems as the guardians, and that guardianship that they're using actually turns into a dictatorship, instead of an expression of love. To understand,
Right.
like, because where they say, like, it takes a village, to raise a child, so it's kind of like weird that, I even would say that even concept, like, but they say it takes a village to raise a child. And then the people that live in the village actually go work, let's say, inside of a prison structure. And then all the people that come into the prison as prisoners, they treat them as if they're not a part of the village. So where did the prison get the villagers to occupy its space as prisoners if it didn't come from the village,
But
right?
you know what?
So
And yes,
I
that
just
that
and I just
okay,
want to
go
say
ahead.
this. I just want to say this one point, because the concept says it takes a village to raise a child. That means that the child will have to go through different degrees of development to actually come out, on a good end of the law instead of the bad end of the law, to preserve the communities. So even if a child was penalized and placed into a penal system, the penal system is basically like one of those last results that's used to re-educate, to reprogram, and to reintroduce the customs and the cultures of the village.
Okay, that goes to something else you said earlier about mindset. When you were talking about the person that was going through the fasting, and when they went through the fasting, it really didn't do anything for them because of their mindset. It's the same as far as this system that we live in. What is the mindset? What was the mindset of forming the penal system in the first place? What was that mindset? What is the mindset of when you put a person in prison? What is your mindset? What is your intention when you put that person
Hmm.
in prison? Is it to rehabilitate? Is it to punish? Is it
Mm-hmm.
what is your intention when that person goes through that system? What is your intention when they for that person when they come out of that system?
That's
It
correct.
so it goes to our mindset of everything that we enter into in every aspect of our life, not just one, but every
Yeah,
aspect of our
because
life,
one system is
our
not
mindset.
one system. Yeah, one system of development is not more prominent than the other. And this society actually gives out this false impression that one system is greater than another system, while they use one system to build another system, right? So all these things are interchangeable, right? You say that the criminal should not be the criminal, but you have systems that you have created for the criminal, but these systems depend on the criminal to exist for them to continue to be able to operate, right? You can't have a docket number if there's an invisible man standing in front of you, right? So you can't handcuff somebody that's not standing there, right? So it's things that
Right.
it has to take place in order for these other systems to be able to continue with their developmental purpose. What you said, the mindset of the creation of itself. What was the mindset of the creation of itself? Whatever the mindset of the creation of was of that system is actually going to be the generator to allow it to continue, right?
Right.
So
Right.
who's going to go and destroy the generator? Matter of fact, let's get it clear. Who knows where the generator is at that actually created Rikers Island, that actually created domestic violence, that actually created, you know what I'm saying, these different laws and systems that we created in the world that actually governs us.
Oh, that's a
Who
deep
knows where the
subject.
generators
Yeah,
at?
that's a
Who
deep
know where those
subject right
generators
there.
at? We need to
That's a
find a
deep.
generator, right? The generator is hidden from everybody, and everybody's fighting, right? It's this big maze. Everybody's in here. All humanity's in here. We done actually divide ourselves from cultures and from race and from nationalities and from
Nathaniel,
religions, right?
actually, the
So we the
generator is not hidden. The generator is
generator.
not hidden.
The
It's just
reason
that
why the
we.
generator.
Okay, go
I
ahead. Why do
believe
you
it.
say the
I
generator is
believe the
hidden?
generator. I believe the generator is hidden because we don't come together to destroy the generator, right? We oppose each other, right? For some that actually go against the generator, but then you got others that actually want to preserve the generator, right? So now we're in this constant war because those that want to preserve the generator has hidden it from us, right? So we actually can't get to the root of the core problem,
Do you say
right? So
everyone is hidden from everyone?
no, those that's on the side of the generator would know where his identity will be at, right? Because they're the ones that are actually preserving it. But those on the opposing side, even if they knew where it was at, they would still have to find a way to get to it from the opposition, right? Which has not been an easy feat, as we have seen from Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, to Join the Truth, Ida B. Wells, to Johnny B. Anthony, and all these different other people that actually came out, Frederick Douglass, that came out into the world, that actually came out to challenge a known system of disbelief to humanity. Most of these systems are a total disbelief to humanity itself, because when we really see what it is, we're astonished. We can't even fathom the fact that certain things are actually taking place in the world.
Well,
Certain
I
atrocities.
I agree with that, because one thing that I agree, a statement that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad made, it says that we cannot fathom the depths of Satan. It's a mindset. It's a
That's correct.
mindset. And
Can't fathom it.
but I believe that all of dealing with that mindset starts on an individual level. I don't believe that I can change the mindset of everyone in this world, but
Can't do it.
I do believe I have the capacity to change my own mindset. And
Yeah, and see, and this is a variant. This is a variant that is is essential for the individual to grow, but that variant also where it's not a connector to others. Because as the individual grows, in most cases, the connectivities that were once associated to it breaks off unless there are deep associations to that individual. So a lot of times when you might have a girlfriend and y'all both Muslim, y'all got a great relationship because y'all both Muslim. But one day she jumps up and say, you know what? I don't want to be Muslim no more. I'm getting rid of that deen. I'm moving on to something else. A lot of times that relationship will not last, right? Because the commonality of the relationship has been destroyed, right? So a lot of times we base our relationships off of common threads, you know what I'm saying? Which is actually judgments that we actually use, you know what I'm saying, to form things that we may feel is the best interest to be in our lives.
Okay, now the using that analogy, okay, it would be if that was the only thing that our relationship was based on. If that was the only thing that I had any reason to talk to this person, and the only thing I ever talked to them about was that commonality of
That's
our
right.
religion. Now,
That's right.
once that was gone, yes, but I also believe, however, if there were other factors involved in that relationship, my mindset would be okay, freedom, justice, and equality. You have the freedom to believe and do what you want without me placing my values on you and saying that what I believe is it, and not giving you the freedom, the justice, and the equality to live your life. So I say it depends. It would depend.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strong spirit that's able to do that, you know, because it's not just the individual that be pulling against that individual, it's also will be the full congregation that will also pull against that individual, and the congregation will also pull against you for being in association with that individual. So it's just, it's actually about what you said. If it's strong enough, that relationship is strong enough to keep those bonds going, regardless if there is a big difference. And this society, differences are created on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because differences are created on purpose, it's always going to be, you know, this level of division, right? Unless you go into scriptures, where scriptures talks about the Most High putting His Spirit in our hearts, so we do not deviate from those things. Then it's like that's our like best course of action, one of our greatest solutions. You know what I mean? But do we actually want to become robotic in nature, right? Just so we can get along, just so we can do the will of the Most High, just so we can actually perform righteous deeds and righteous duties in the land? Do we actually have to become robotic for that to happen? You know what I'm saying? So scriptures tell us, listen, y'all not paying attention. I've been sitting here trying to give y'all all these opportunities to come together as one unit. I gave y'all different skins and all that different stuff so I can confuse y'all, right? I gave y'all different languages and stuff so I can confuse y'all about your true purpose. I gave y'all different cultures and things of that nature and different tastes of meats and things of that nature so I can confuse y'all as a nation of people, because I still didn't realize that y'all one nation of people. So I'm going to give you all these different deviants so you can find different reasons to judge against one another, you know what I'm saying, and continue to create this web, you know what I'm saying, that has no comfortable bedding, right? You create a web that's sticky, that's uncomfortable, right? And I always feel like it's gonna break, and you want to lob me on top of it, right? So it's actually understanding like what is that core, you know what I'm saying, that supposed to bring us together, right?
I
We done
say,
try.
Nathaniel, it's love. It's
Yeah, it is.
love.
It is.
It
It is.
is.
But then that's the vibration, because this is the vibration that created us. So the same vibration that created us is the same
Yes.
vibration that will increase us and also release us and free us. But as we go through these different ping pongs, you know what I'm saying, of these weird societal norms, right? Those of us that strive to be woke, and those of us that strive to have understanding, again, are baffled, right? You go into a room of thousands of people, right? They got nice clothes on, they got the latest fashion, they got the best colognes on, the best perfumes on, right? and you're saying, I'm going here to make a difference. I'm going here to bring forth change. These people got to be the right people. They look good. They smell good. You know what I'm saying? Their vocabulary is immaculate. I wish I knew that word he just said. I don't even know what that word means, right? Type of situation. And when you go into the room, it's a dead room, right? And you say, okay, so why am I here? Right? And as you said, the title we'll be dealing with is Window to the Soul. A lot of times we in spaces because it's a window to our soul. We want to see what we want to see, but our soul takes us to see what we have to see.
And sometimes, Nathaniel, when we go into situations that way, it is a trial to me. This is what I believe, and a test of where I am in my on my journey. Am I
That's what
going
I
to
just
go
said.
into this
Yeah.
room of people that are dead to
But you don't
really
find out a lot of times until you're there. And that's one of the things too. You're tricked. It's the tricked. Like you're super excited. Like I gotta get this done. This is what's happening. This is where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna meet this person. I'm gonna meet that person. And it's all a trick, right? When you leave the room, they take the green screen down, and you don't even know that was a whole green screen affair that was going on while you was there, right? And this is something that becomes discouraging to different leaders that actually have that propensity to see judgments and say, I think there's a better way to do this.
mm-hmm,
I think it's another way that we can apply to this. Another component that's missing out of this, the component of love or compassion, right?
mm-hmm.
Go to a board meeting. For instance, let me give an example. Go to any board meeting and go in there and start crying, like literally crying about the welfare of your people and what resources and tools are not being afforded to them and things of that nature. And I guarantee you that you will not last in that organization.
Right,
You
right,
understand?
right.
Because you are not of the common thread. So because you're not of the common thread, you need to understand your placement when we go into these different places, right? It's rereading the stories of our ancestors, rereading the plights and stuff that our ancestors had to go through, and things of that nature to achieve their journey, to achieve their mission, and you will see, all the little cobwebs that came in a way, right? All these different systematic structures that's actually there to actually stop you on your path. So you'll want to find yourself in different spaces that you thought was supposed to magnify you, but it was only there to bring awareness to what's going on to the situation so you can actually understand, you know, what's in the room for you, like who's in the room for you, what resources in the room for you, what tools is in the room for you, right? You know, don't go in the room and think that everybody in the room is gonna start hugging you and kissing you and say, "We happy that you came here and we couldn't wait till you got here," type of situation. No, these journeys a lot of times is just to self-fulfilled journeys that many people do not even understand them until those journeys are fulfilled or until those journeys get stopped dead in their tracks that we speaking last week about Martin Luther King didn't get to achieve his path, his journey. We still hear about him and we celebrate his holidays and read his books and things of that nature, but he did not achieve what he set out to achieve.
And
He
you know
had
what? And that
so
starts again with what you said earlier about the mindset of whatever journey that we're on. Because if we go into these rooms with all these people and we have one mindset, and then here they are have a totally different mindset than we have, what what is our why? Our why
yeah,
is our why strong enough to withstand the vibration that they're giving off, that they are exuding. We go into this on this and they're on one vibrational level and we're on another. How strong is our foundation? How strong is our mindset? How strong is our why? So that when we go in there and we're in that atmosphere, when we come out of that atmosphere, we still are standing strong
Mm-hmm.
on who we are, why we're doing what we're doing, and we still have our mindset intact. Because if you go into any a position like that and you're weak on what you believe and you're weak on what your foundation, then it's easily you would be easily thrown off your game. So that's why it's really important that we know within ourselves and know the
Mm-hmm.
power that we have within, so that when we encounter all these different vibration, all these different negative thoughts, all this different thing, that we still, not
Have
that,
some ammunition.
right, and not that we won't at times feel shaky, not that at times we won't maybe question and maybe feel some kind of way, but as we grow stronger in our beliefs and our knowledge of who we are, and we're standing on truth, and we have a foundation based on truth and based on the wisdom that we have gained through our journey here on this earth, that we will be strong enough to still love, to still be like our creator, because our creator does not throw us away because he see our weaknesses, or he sees our, the things that we may not have gotten together yet. He doesn't throw us away. We are given time every day that we wake up. We're given another opportunity to get that mindset right. That's an opportunity to get the mindset that's in harmony with our creator, in harmony with the love, in harmony with that vibration, in harmony with that high vibrational level of love. It's an
That's it.
opportunity every day,
That's it. That's
every
right.
day.
So yeah, so no, we actually thank everybody for tuning in today to this I'm a Data podcast. Topic Window to the Soul was really informative. I really hope people can listen to it, share it, subscribe, because it is important to actually take time to see who you are, what you're capable of, and just go out into the world and become the best manifestation of yourself that you actually possibly can become. It's so many paths to take in the world and so many different things to see or to emulate, but none of those things mean nothing if the greatest vibration in the world is not you, for you. See? So you
Yes,
can have all these things and you can possess all these things, and at the end of the day, they're not going to fill you up. They're insatiable things. This is why we recycle bottles, because they're insatiable. People are always going to need to have a bottle to drink out of. So it's an insatiable tool. So we're constantly going to have bottles in our lives because we always going to need them. We want to journey, we want to take camping trips and things of that nature. So we always going to need these things accessible to us. So don't become the
yes,
bottle. Just don't become the bottle. That's it.
yes. And
Just
one
you
thing,
know,
another word that you have used throughout, Nathaniel, is unique. And for each one of us to embrace our uniqueness, because my journey to reach my understanding of this high vibrational level of love is different from, maybe different from you. It is going to be different. There's never going
yeah,
to be two people that reach
it's
that
trillions of people
have,
in the world.
yes. And
So you
so
can't, there's no quick fix pill, you
none.
know, and it's like we got to go, God, but it's just so, everything is just so like competitive. It takes away a lot of process of love and that gratitude that we need to even be here. It's like the Most High
Yes,
said, who can compete with him? You can't compete with the
right.
Most High, so we
That's
compete
right.
with
We can
we
only
compete with
just
one another.
try
We
to.
compete with one another. We compete with ourselves. You know, but there's no reason to a lot of time compete because we're already here.
And the only one that every day that we should strive to improve every day is that one person that you truly have with you at all times is
That's right.
yourself. So thank you everyone for being here with us today. Our time has come to a close. Thank you for being here for Window to the Soul. Thank you for allowing me to share my window to my soul. And I thank you, Nathaniel. As always, I am grateful for you. And let's end this with
Yeah.
a moment of calmness.
I was gonna
Let
say, today you should end it with poetry.
the only thing I can say is attitude of gratitude. Is that enough poetry for you?
Cause I thought "Window to the Soul" topic came with a poem.
Oh, oh, is that what you
"Window to
thought?
the Soul."
That was your unique, wait a minute. That was your unique thought. That was your unique thought.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to hold y'all up, but yeah, "Window to the Soul." I was trying to get a poem out of Jeannie, but we probably get. I could do it off the head, but I ain't gonna. I ain't gonna do that.
Okay, well, do it.
So let's take us out. Take us out, Jeannie. You want me to take us out?
You
Want me to take us
started
out with
it.
a poem or something like that?
No, I'm going to take us out with a close your eyes.
Okay,
Close your
okay.
eyes, Nathaniel. Close your eyes.
Oh man,
Close your
get my
eyes.
poem.
Close your eyes. Take a deep breath, Nathaniel. To the count of 4. Let it out through your mouth like you're breathing through a straw. Another deep breath to the count of 4. Let it out slowly. Relax the top of your head. Relax your face. Relax your neck and your shoulders, your arms. Relax your arms and your fingers. Taking a deep breath and letting it out slowly. Relax your body, going on down your body into your legs. Wiggle your toes down into your toes. Wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, everybody.